Hello. Welcome back to Robin's Wreaths, an AQ magazine series quilt presented in 5 parts, where I am sharing tips and techniques for this quilt and future projects. Today I will show you how I assemble my bias tape vines. As I stated previously, the Clover bias tape makers are my favorite. They're low cost, easy to use, and super portable. When I showed you earlier how to cut the strips, here are 2 that I cut. You'll notice they have a nice 45-degree angled tip, and that's to help for ease in feeding them through the tape maker. These are cut at 1/2 inch, and they are ready to become 1/4 inch finished vines. Now for the large wreath, remember I stated you needed approximately 60 inches of finished bias tape. So you will need to assemble, meaning you're going to create longer strips by sewing them together just the way you would do if you were making continuous binding. You're going to take and put these together at a 90-degree angle, and pin them, sew on your 45. And it'll look like this. And you'll trim, make it tidy, and then you'll take and you'll fold that out and press it really well. I'm not going to do that right now because I just want to show you one other tip here. When you do this and you're making these and you have that seam in there, you want to pay attention to how you feed them into the maker. So for example, when you go to put this one into the maker, and it's going to be feeding along in through there, if it goes in this direction, this seam's going to want to jam up along in there. But if you feed it in through the other direction and you're pulling it, it's going to go through there a lot smoother, depending on which direction your seam is. So that's something you're going to want to pay attention to. Next thing I would like to tell you about is starching, whether to starch or not. Some people are very partial to Mary Ellen's Best Press, which works well. There's also a wonderful product called Flatter. I particularly like this smell. It works well, but when I'm doing my starching process, I personally like this light body magic sizing. And the reason I like this better than the Flatter or the Mary Ellen's is because when I'm done spraying this and then running it through the Clover maker, I find that it keeps that press a lot better, and I don't get the flakes or anything that you would get with other starches from that magic sizing. And so when I'm ready to do this, I will take one of these strips and I'll just lightly spray it with the magic sizing, and then I'm ready to feed this through. And this is why you want this sharp point on here. That little sharp point just makes it a little easier to stick it through. And then you're going to take a pin, run that on up, and as soon as your tip starts to come out like that, it's ready. And I press these while they're still damp from spraying with the magic sizing, because I want that dampness to really hold this together. Now I did not spray this one. I'm just doing this so you can kind of see how I pull these through. And I'm just going to press this, pull little bits, and I'm pressing relatively, I'm giving it a nice good press while I'm doing it. Now because I didn't starch it, see how it wants to come open like that? This is what I find happens when I use Mary Ellen's or the Flatter, and that's why I use the magic sizing. And the magic sizing will keep this and give it a nice crisp crease, and it won't want to come open. It'll be a little stiffer, but I don't mind that for when I'm putting this down. And so you would just continue to feed that all the way through until you had all of your pieces ready to go. And if you find when you're pulling you get a little twist, you can just pull it backwards a bit until it comes back through, and then gently pull it this way again. I hope that helped, and I hope you're having a great time making bias stems and vines for our Robin's Wreath project. Next time I will show you how I trace and how I glue my vines down for doing the hand applique part of it. In the meantime, happy quilting. See you soon. Same bat channel.